What is up, Nintendo Dads community? It's John Blanco from the Dads After Dark show with a first look. I'm very excited for this one. Darkest Dungeon 2. Yes. Very cool. This game comes out July 15th. It retails for $39.99. Although if you get it right now, maybe shortly, I mean, it's a 15% discount for pre-orders. It might be too late by the time you hear this, but you can get it. There's also an Oblivion edition that adds some extra characters for a bit more. But I am very excited for this one as we let's kick this off. Very excited for this one. I enjoyed the first game, even though I sucked at it. It's a campaign game with roguelike dungeons you have to run, and it has permadeath. So you got to be good, and you got to grind up your guys, and I really enjoyed the first game, even though I didn't even get anywhere near beating it. But I'm coming back for more. This game came out last year, I believe, on Steam, but it's coming to consoles July 15th. Very excited, and I've tried to keep myself in the darkest of dungeons in terms of like what's new. I know a couple of basic things, but I really don't want to know all the changes and stuff like that. I want to go into this as blind as possible. I'm very excited. It's about making the most of a bad situation. You are not expected to succeed on your first expedition. Heroes will die, failure will abound, and the world will seek to smother your flame. Take heart, do not relent, press forward through the encroaching gloom, and face your fears. Redemption at last can be found deep within. And that's what makes this game so good, is you recruit characters, and then you run them through the dungeons to get them stronger. So even if you die early on, just grab some new characters and run them through a dungeon. Where it can get messy is if you have some high-level characters that you make a mistake and you die. But you can always start again with new characters, and in fact, you're always having to bring in new characters anyway. So, very excited for this. One of the bigger changes is how you run through the dungeons. Let's take a look at this story. I love the art style of these games. And the narrator, who is returning.
Ruin has found you at last. My protege, my friend. Our calculations were correct. The ephemeral equation is unbalanced. The Earth spins on a strange and terrifying new axis. And everywhere, unbridled consequence. The world is a wasteland of failures past. And yet, you must ride out into it, unafraid. Take this. It is hope. The very last of it. It is yours now. You were bold once.
So the flame represents light in the dungeons.
More.
And generally, the more light you have,
from this suffocating
the
stillness.
safer you are in the dungeon.
your gaze
But of
on
course,
the
it's one of those
horizon.
games where you can try to make it
And
unsafe so you get
face
more
the
loot.
fearsome truth
I was never one of those people.
of the darkest dungeon.
And what made the first game so hard was you had to grind up characters and you had to figure out like what synergies you want to use. And I think I was really bad at that part. I just took my 4 strongest characters without really thinking about how they work together. But if you died, it was permadeath, and it was very frustrating to lose a high-level character you invested a lot of
You
time
must
in.
face your failures, or be consumed by them.
But generally, you had a little town. I'm kind of setting expectations for myself. But you had a little town, and you built out that town, and it gave you more capabilities, and then you kind of grinded through your characters. I know the dungeoning is like different in this game. The dungeoning is different. Yeah, you're on this little wagon. Oh, so I can actually control the wagon. Left, right. Okay. Whoa. Whoa.
I know
Oh,
fairly
a little motion
well.
sickness on that. I glimpsed it lurking at the ragged edges.
edges of your mind. I watched its venom spread through the veins of the world.
Interesting that they're kind
And I
of doing
trembled
a
at
story.
its terrible reverberation.
Whoa, controlling this wagon.
The crossroads. A place between places.
So there was 4 sets of dungeon difficulties, and I'm wondering if that's what this crossroads thing is. Okay. Stagecoach is your carriage, coffin, and confessional. Press A or L once to order the stagecoach forward. B to halt it. Stagecoach will steer automatically. You can fine-tune it. But I was steering it. Oh, you can fine-tune it. Okay. I'm not going to turn it because I found moving the horses wasn't immediate, and it was almost like there was like a lag. Press right to bring up the stagecoach view. It shows what upgrades are currently installed in the coach as well as current armor. Okay, so I'm going to be upgrading my coach. Maybe instead of a town? Stagecoach items can only be played. This is a game I'm very happy to be playing. Whenever I do these first looks, I always restart the game if I continue on. I'm going to need that. Cycle through heroes with ZL and ZR. Press A while selecting hero portraits. Assemble your party of 4 heroes. Okay. I try not to read too much of the tutorials in these first looks. Okay. So, party loadout. I can't tell what's selected. Okay, the yellow is the selection box. Got it. So they're starting me with 4 characters. This guy is from the first game. First game. Is this guy new or just looks a little different? Might be. They're like much bigger here. Like I love the way they stand tall here. So this is the plague doctor. He mostly deals with like poisons. You can see there like rank and target. So what that means, as best as I can remember, is you can put these characters in certain places in the line. You have a line of 4 characters, and they attack certain areas. So what you're seeing is the rank is where where they're limited to. I'm not sure what the smaller circles, or maybe the recommendation. And then when they target, they mostly target, you can see in the front of the line, but he's pretty balanced. But like you can see, this guy is like more of a physical character. He's a tank. You want him in the front of the line, which is the right side. That's why the bigger circles are in rank. And they're targeting the front of the enemy line, which is the front as well. So it's telling you, it actually is doing a really good job of explaining, you know, front rank, guard, they're durable, and riposte, which is basically like parrying. Highwayman, Grave Robber. Yeah, all these characters are from the first game, but they just feel so different. And since they started you with 4, and you can see the Plague Doctor is here on the left, and this guy's on the right, I really think they're pushing you to starting off with these 4. Now you can see that there's these 4... I don't know what these 4 here... Oh, this is going to be my party. So let me just press A. I'm going to put him at the front.
Pride.
I'm just going to take
Than the horrors of
the
100
hint and put them in the
campaigns.
right spot. The Unusual Suspects. Is that like the name of the level? You can also do random party. And then party loadouts, which is probably, you can just set them up, which is neat. I don't remember the first game had that. Let me look at the hero sheet real quick. So this is the hero sheet for the Plague Dog. It tells you like his powers, and you can see the little circles showing where they target. That one is just targeted at yourself because I think it's a healing spell. And you can select which powers you bring in. It's a little overwhelming right now. I'm not going to get into it. All right. Cycle hero. Okay. So let's go. How do I go? Do I have to go to the usual suspects? Okay. So you embark on a mission. Usually also you set up your gear, like torches and stuff. I don't see that here yet. So maybe we just don't do it yet. I might have changed that. I never liked that aspect. You had to decide what gear to bring, and if you brought it, you didn't have it anymore, even if you didn't use it. So we'll see if that's different. The valley.
Onward.
All right, so what was it? A goes forward. I'm going to try not to turn it as I subconsciously do.
You see, even your valley is not immune to the spreading stain.
I like the way the God, it looks so good. I think this is done in 3D. The characters are so much bigger on the screen than the way they were, and they kind of exude personality just in the way they move. This is really kind of cool. I wonder what this looks like handheld. All right. So let me get my bearings here. I'm using the analog stick, but I'm going to switch to the D-pad. I am forgetting sort of like, do I have to... Okay, so I have to basically say what each character should do. So this is Noxious Blast. I'm looking at the bottom here. Ounce of Prevention. So you can see, let's take a look. Damage 2 to 3 with a 5% crit chance. Plus 30% resist piercing when target. I'm not sure what that is. Target 4. I don't know. This one is Ounce of Prevention. Cooldown. Target 15%. Resist 3 turns. So this is just sort of a defensive spell, I guess. It's upping my resistance of poison. I guess that simple is. I'm telling you, I've said it over and over. These games are worth playing for like an hour and then starting again, just so you kind of learn some things by playing as your tutorial and then restarting so you can be a little bit cleaner. All right, I'm just gonna make him attack because that just seems more fun. And you can pick a target. I'm gonna pick the one in the back. You should always go for the back from the back because my guy in the front. Okay.
A slow dissection.
I'm gonna attack.
An unavoidable end.
Okay, that's right. If you look at the top right corner, it's going to tell you the order of the moves. So right now, my highwayman is going. They have him like on the right, it looks like. And then my lady will go. And then the enemies will go. So it's important to know, if you know that an enemy is going to be moving on the next turn, maybe that's the one that you target rather than someone down the road, because you want as few attacks as possible. And you really want to lay on the attacks early. You want to try to like reduce as many enemies as possible, because when they attack you, they'll not only take your health. This is a roguelike game. You don't want to lose health, but they also give you sort of an insanity, a fear, I think they call it. All right, so he's got a Wicked Slice, a Pistol Shot. The Wicked Slice can attack the front line. The Pistol Shot, you can see, can attack the back view. But there's only 2 enemies in front of me, so, I mean, we'll just go for a Wicked Slice. And we'll just go after... Let's go after the same enemy. There we go. Death Blow. So, what does that mean? Does it mean he's... That's his... I thought he had more health, but he's dead. When enemies die in this game, you have to kind of clear them. I am forgetting some of my memories, so we'll try to go with it. But I thought that red bar was his health. Okay, so if I attack him again, I think it will actually like get rid of his body. But let's just attack the first one. I always love the animation when they attack. It's so sudden and crisp. You don't have to worry about defense or whatever. You don't have to do any kind of timing things. It's not Paper Mario. Heal target. Heal 10% when target is a skull. So like an undead. So that's kind of neat. Yeah, that other guy... His health is full, but he's on the ground. So let's see. If I kill this guy now, what'll happen? Death blow. Yeah. I don't quite understand that. I don't know what the death blow is. Okay. So I have a candle here and whatever that is. If I press the stick, minor hail draft and candle of hope. I don't know what those are necessarily, but we'll just take them. Why would I not? All right, we're gonna get back in the carriage.
There is so much worse in store.
I wonder if there's things along the way, like if I change my steering. Oh my goodness. So they're basically just giving you like manuals. Read them and enjoy them. During encounters such as this one, you must pick one of the choices by holding A on one of your heroes. The results will be free view to the bottom of the screen. Okay. We'll just stick to that for now. So interesting. Once caught, hope spreads like contagion. I shall miss the little luxuries of camp. On the bottom it says plus 100 light. I like how it shows you the symbols. Where's the torch? Oh look, there's that little skull here that we saw before. It says combo. Man, there's gonna be a lot to learn. A lot to learn. The block is the shield, crit is the star, dodges, guarded. Okay. I don't know what happens if I choose one or the other. What do I get? So let's just press it and see. The guy in the plague doctor got something. Yours for the taking. All right. What is that one? Minor protectorate. 10% healing given from skills. Again, I don't quite remember what those are. It's been a while since I played this game. There's a lot going on. Little controls on the side there. Okay, so if I press up, it's showing me the map. I don't have any choices of where to go. I can scroll the map. Okay. So obviously I have no choices. At some point I'll probably get some choices which way I steer. If I press
You can feel it.
down, I'm seeing this key. Go away. The carriage. Oh, okay, so this is the carriage details. I'm gonna have 2 wheels and 2 shields there. I don't know what else anything else means. And then to the left is hero goal. Ooh. Alright, I think I got a little used to the controls. You can actually press left to bring that up, and then press up to show that, but then you can show that. So, just need a little muscle memory for that.
The bulwark of your denial is giving way.
Okay, so now we got a little tougher combat. Pick to the face. Okay, so we are controlling Audrey. I forget what her... I think she's a gravekeeper. I usually am always so focused on physical attacks. But, if HP is less than 33, heal 33%. Good to know. Poison dart. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try to work on these people in the back. I love their little animations. Miss there. Obviously, the RNG gods are in effect. We'll let the poison do its thing in the back there. Execution 1. I don't know what that is, but let's start working on this guy. So every time you do an attack, there's like a range of attack, and you just hope for the best. There's a lot of RNG, like I said. We're going to do another poison. Oh, so see, this attack can only hit the first 2 spots. See the little blue icons? But this enemy takes up the first 2 spots. He's a bigger enemy. So I can only attack this enemy with this item. But this one right here, the blinding gas, that one I can use in the back. I just don't want to. Alright, so we're just going to attack this guy. And he has resistance to it. And these are those games where you have to look at spec sheets and understand strengths and weaknesses, and sometimes the way the game communicates these things to you, especially on console, is very key. I may not remember what his resistances are, but maybe if I pick it, you let me know. So you can see on the bottom right, the woodsman. I'm not sure what those numbers necessarily mean yet. There's burn, stun, BLGT, I don't think it's like plague. Blood, bleeding, movement, and then debuff? What is BLGT? It's not coming to me. But I think that's like a poison. I don't know what the numbers mean. The lower, the better, the higher number of those resistances. I don't know. They also have like a little timer. Gotta figure it out. Lots of figuring out here. Okay. Let's just hit this dude. Let's get Colonel. Academic view. During combat, hold ZL on the selected hero or enemy to see the academic view. Okay, that's good. Press R to allow navigation between all heroes and enemies so you can enter academic view on any character. This valuable screen shows full details and any tokens the combatant has. Perhaps even more valuable, the view shows details about which combat skills enemies have. Skills start hidden, but as you observe the enemy and use them in combat, the details... Oh, see, that's cool, because it will remind you when you see it. As you observe the enemy use them. So when an enemy attacks me, I know that they have that attack. That's kind of what they're saying. All right, let's try this. ZL. Okay, so...
are human.
All heroes are human. Take 50% DMG from next hit. Takes minus or approximately? Oh, so on the bottom, see it says resistances. That's what those numbers are. So the higher, the better, I'm guessing. I don't know what death at 66 is. Is that a resistance? Okay, let me look at this enemy. I want to look at the enemy. Hold on. I guess I have to select an attack. All right. Let's do poison dart. All right, let's look at this enemy.
Observe the subject carefully, and you will discover its weaknesses.
So it's I'm guessing it is most resistance to movement? I'm not sure what MOV is. I don't know. So I've got sort of poison. Let's try these guys. So basically I'm looking for the lower number. So whatever. We'll figure it out. Like I said. Oh, so see it said resist on that poison thing? I wouldn't have thought he'd be so resistant to it, right? Okay. Noxious Blast. You really got to get a feel for all these core characters. And you want to make sure... see the meters below the characters, the little white dots, it looks like? That is sort of their... I forget what they call it. It's like fear. But when that fills up, they will actually accrue like a sort of disease. Sometimes they'll actually get something good, but it's very, very rare. And it's like permanent. So you don't want your characters to be essentially traumatized. So like their health is fine, and then, you know, I think their health will carry over. Like they need to heal for a while. They don't just refill their health magically. But you could get through a fight and be like, oh, they didn't die. That's great. But that, like, they could become diseased or sick or whatever, and that's kind of like permanent. You want to be careful with that. So that's why you can't just kind of rush in. You got to keep an eye on them. Let's go here. There's so many numbers going on, and I don't want to slow down this first look though. All right, keep going after this guy. And see how he's bleeding? He's got the little blood marker. So you want to like synergize with characters that can cause bleeding and characters who attack for more when you're bleeding. That's like a key to this game. But there's so many symbols going on, you really have to play through it a bunch of times and get a feel for it. So I am just going to do that. I'm just going to, like, you know, see he just lost a little extra energy. Protect the child. Let me grab something. I'm going to try to get this guy out of the way. I can't remember if they move up when it... See, if I get rid... Let me try to get rid of his body, because I want to remember what happens. So if you attack a dead guy...
The unrelenting application of violence.
Okay, so that really killed him.
Morbid gains.
If you just attack their body one time, it will go away. I just want to see what happens. It's about learning. Get out of your safe zone for this game. Okay. So crush. Oh, and that guy, he's got another energy meter. So basically, if we get rid of his body, I think those characters will move up. All right. They move up. And sometimes they're not as effective. And maybe they want to be in the back, but I'm still kind of get a feel for this energy meter. It's almost like you just get a second energy meter once you turn into a body. There are also moves that allow you to, like, switch your position in the lineup. So, like, you can do moves where you force a character to move into a position that you don't want them to be in. I'm not going to worry about that body for now. I feel like in the old days, you just had to attack it one time and it went away. I don't remember the meter, but I might be had a miss. Now my character in the front is looking low energy, and his sort of sanity meter is rising high. Not ideal. So now that there's just corpses left, I win. I'm sure there's some characters that can come back to life too. What is that in? Chalk dust. Just take them. We'll just smile and nod, boys.
Push on to the inn. Rest and resupply await you.
Okay, so let's bring up the map again. Oops, not that one. So they're basically saying that this inn... Okay, so a place to rest and train. So this was kind of like the... I gotta get used to this. I think this is where... This is your sort of hub in the first game. Is it gonna be the same here? Was that just a tutorial?
The fire is lit.
I think that was just a tutorial.
The table is set. The inn awaits its favorite guests.
So... The resolute companions reach the torch and crown. 2 candles gained for reaching the inn. Prologue complete. Okay, so that was the prologue. Now I got to the inn. I think this is where my base of operations is, and I have to build up this inn and improve its facilities and that sort of stuff. Collect what you can and end your expedition here. I like how they show the characters in the seats. Like, they're exhausted. So Barristan is half health, and his fear is about half too. So what are they going to let me do here? Can I look through items? Oh yeah, what's this? Trinkets. Minor hail draft. 10% max, minus 3% crit. So let's try one of these. So you can give them trinkets. I forget how many they can have. So let's take this one. Plus 10% healing given from skills, minus 10% damage. So it increases their healing from their healing stuff, but it reduces their damage. Which one of these guys? Let's give it to the Plague Doctor. Whoa, no. No, not there. Okay, choose the Plague Doctor. Okay. And then I'm going to give him this trinket. There you go. So that means his healing will do better, and his attack will be less. Okay, so I'm putting it down. So where's his healing spell? got to hit the like left stick to bring up the information. This game, I will be honest, this game is always better on a PC where you can mouse around and it's on the controller. It's just not meant for it. Burn, resist. The higher the number, the more resistant they should be, right? Okay, and then I have this item, which is plus 10% max health, minus 3% crit. So let's give that to the tank. Feel like having more health is good for your tank. And that's all the trinkets that we have. Oh, what is this? Oh, that's the chalk stuff, right? Chalk dust, combat item, powder, party, remove, cannot gain. So again, I don't know what those symbols are. I need to learn them. So I think what you can do with this item is you can hold on to it. See the combat item on the bottom? So I guess you can have maybe one. So I can use that when I use this character. I think it goes away, though. Alright. Let's finish up here. How do I get back? So you can see here there's a travelogue of, you know, my progress. I think there's going to be some quests, too. How do I get out of here?
Will you press on into uncertainty, or claim what you can?
So I found 3 candles. All carried candles convert to hope. Valley complete. A trivial reward for a trivial accomplishment. So I finished the valley. We got regions, sluice braved, layers cleansed. I think those are the dungeons. Wanderer heroes, faced your failures, a bunch of stuff that you want to like get done. This will end your expedition. That screen was a little confusing. Like I said, I'm gonna play, try to understand it.
And experience.
All right.
Twin
So,
yardsticks of progress.
that is summarizing my stuff. So now what? Am I not in the inn?
Perhaps the world was a dream. Even so, it is surely worth remembering.
Roguelikes are so crazy because you're like, what's going on? So I'm at this place called Altar of Hope. Is that a chapter? A dungeon? Each expedition you earn candles of hope. The altar is where you spend those candles to unlock new classes, items, pets, and more. For the first visit, you must visit the working fields. Okay. So I have 2 candles. The working fields. Okay. Oh, I gotta hold the button down. You must spend all your candles before leaving the altar. Okay. How do I spend those candles? This I don't know.
Spare a thought
Okay.
for tools of iron. Such implements will serve us well.
Okay, so as expected, things are cheap in the beginning. Let's see what they are. I wish I could just see what they are without having to figure out what they are. Trinkets, combat items, stagecoach items, inn items. I'll just click combat items. I'll just spend them without knowing what it is.
A welcome advancement in the science
Toxic
of survival.
Ichor, combat item, noxious. Okay. I actually have 5 candles. I thought I had 2. I guess So I'm basically buying something and I don't know what it's gonna be.
In a sea of madness.
Let me buy a stagecoach item. I want to know what those are.
New
Okay, so I got better
instruments will help
wheels.
us diagnose the world's affliction.
On entering a region, plus
And
1 wheel,
overcome
plus
it.
2 max wheel. Okay. And I have 1 more. Let's see what the inn items are.
Every
restorative
twinkling
herbs.
Recollection is another
Plus
implement
10%
at our
traveling
disposal.
heal. Okay. Plus 20% healing received from skills. Okay. That's like when you use when you use a skill to heal. So I think these, you can use them while you're in the wagon. So like along your trip, you can sort of improve yourself. All right. Let's get out of here. And let's just press X to embark.
Sanctuary, as fleeting as a dying star.
I still don't have a sense for like where I am in the world. So like I was at an inn. Am I starting from the inn? Because in the first game you really had to plan out your trip. You had to pick your items. You had to pick your people. I don't feel like I'm like restarting a run.
Your sanctum, adrift in this bituminous nightmare.
And the storytelling is a little...
The shackles of denial must be destroyed.
I somehow feel like maybe having played the first game is making me more confused because I'm expecting familiar things, but I'm not getting them, so I don't have my footing.
I remember our first meeting on the steps of the university.
But it'll come.
A collegial handshake that would doom us both.
He's definitely
Your
doing more
insightful
storytelling
questions during my
as you play.
lectures gave me pause, and I recognized in you something of a kindred spirit. Despite
Kindred or
our
kindred?
differences in age and position, we shared a keen fascination for archaeology, folklore, and, of course, occultism. The crossroads. Who will step forward into the light?
This is where we were before, though, right? The crossroads. Okay, okay. So the crossroads is where I can choose characters. Can I recruit yet? I don't know if I can recruit yet. I want to say random party.
A random seed.
If I click it,
supplication of
oh,
the
it's just
altar of
jumbling
the
because I only have 4
unknown.
characters. Random is not bad. Even if like you press it a few times because you're like, I want my plague doctor in the back a little bit. Okay, we'll go with that one. Each of the characters has a goal. See that goal? Enter the sprawl. Goal: visit a field hospital. I wonder if that's unique, not on class but on the character. That's interesting. So, like if this character lands a killing blow on 2+ Gaunt, he accomplishes a goal. I don't know what the prize is, but this one's goal is to enter the Tangle. It should be really interesting. Okay, I'm not going to do a run. I think we're winding down the first look. I just want to see what happens when I embark. Again, trying to find footing. So the crossroads is where everything begins, and you pick your people. And then the valley, that's what I did before.
When you are ready, this rutted roadway will finally take you home.
So the valley isn't necessarily just the prologue. Let's take a look at the map. So we're going to go to the old bridge. And then there's an inn, but there's a battle before it. Okay, so the bridge. So we're going to run into a battle.
Even your valley
Yeah,
is not
very similar to
immune
the first game where you
the
had sort of a
spreading
like a map,
flame.
and you could actually pick your way. I mean, I'll say right now, I like the setup of the first game better because I'm more familiar with it. But I like that they really changed it up for this one. Gonna learn like a new way to navigate this world, and hopefully see some like other improvements to the game. So it's very exciting. It's very exciting. It looks great. Performance-wise, like the frame rate feels like it's probably at 30. It's not that it's chugging, it's just that I can tell. But for a game like this, it doesn't make as big a deal. You're just kind of selecting characters and all that. So I think it looks really good. I'm very curious to see what it looks like handheld. But I look at the character just like looking at that mirror. They're much more expressive in this game. So the enemies have more character. And I love the size of the characters. They're definitely bigger on the screen than they were in the first game. So it just gives them more life. But yeah, this is a game where you're going to have to kind of, you know, look at different parts of the screen, look at different numbers, try to figure things out. Just use different ideas, explore, figure out how these things work. And then, you know, once you start to figure it out, maybe just start a new game. You don't have to like continue from where you are. Just I'm gonna continue to play this little run and learn more about the game before I start all over again. And don't be afraid to look at those tutorials that keep coming up. And let's see how do you get to those? So tutorials. Yeah, like they're obviously just throwing a bunch at you instead of explaining at a little time. Go through it all, honestly. Go through a port of it. Just try to learn as much as you can about this game. And get used to the controls. Like I said, this is a game meant for PC. You know, they tack on the console controls after the fact. But once you start to figure it out, you're just gonna love it. I know I love the first one. We'll see about this one for sure, but I like everything I see. I like the changes. I like that it feels like a different game. So that's great. Thanks for watching this first look. I've been John Blanco. Still am John Blanco, but I've been John Blanco too. Don't forget to listen to the Dads After Dark show every couple of weeks in your favorite podcasting app. Thank you to the Nintendo Dads and the publisher for letting us have a code for this one. Very excited for it. Darkest Dungeon 2, available now as you listen to me. Thanks again for watching.